we have a really, really great question, a last one, a very actual one, and that has to do with one of your most famous books, The Manufacturing Consent, about the media policy. Susan from Vienna, she wondered whether the positive press reports about Obama in the uprunning of the presidential candidate, whether that what was it again, exactly what it was she asked? It was a fabulous question. In the light of your views on media propaganda, what do you think is behind the fact that most of the media in the US was in favor of the election of Barack Obama to President of the United States?
Before the election, about 80% of the population felt that the country is going in the wrong direction. In fact, Bush was so unpopular that in the 2008 election, his own party ran against him. The campaign program of John McCain was focused on differentiating himself from George Bush. So almost anyone would have been preferred that was not tainted by the 8 years of the Bush administration in the United States. Elections are mostly bought. You can almost always, the better funded candidate wins in Congress or the presidency. And furthermore, you can pretty well determine the nature of the presidency by looking at the collection of concentrated capital that funded him. There's a rather good, there's actually something called the investment theory of politics, which is a pretty good predictor, and it essentially takes the position that elections are occasions when groups of investors coalesce and invest to control the state. The main person who's worked on this is a very fine political economist, Thomas Ferguson, well known in Germany, incidentally. And it's a surprisingly good predictor, as he's shown. Well, in this election, Obama had far greater financing than McCain, and the core of the financing came from the financial institutions. He was their candidate. And when concentrated capital backs a presidential candidate, the media are very likely to go along. After all, they have pretty much the same roots in the society. They're all parts of the same corporate system. And in fact, you can see it in Obama's policies. So his advisors substantially come from the financial institutions. In fact, the very people who created the current crisis on foreign policy issues, his advisors are from the center to sometimes the right, representing pretty much the same collection of corporate interests. And the media are part of that system too, so sure, they would tend to favor Obama for pretty much the same reason that the financial institutions did. One, negative, let's get rid of the radical extremism of the Bush administration, which caused great harm to their own interests, let alone the rest of the world. And secondly, this seems to be a candidate more amenable to the kind of policies we would like to see the country pursue.